it's Holly again. Hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about travel anxiety or anxiety when you're on holiday. If you follow me on Instagram, please follow me. You'll see, I guess, I've just been on holiday to the Canary Islands, and there were things on holiday that definitely heightened my anxiety. Just before I get started, I just want to say that I'm not trained in anxiety, I'm not trained in mental health, I'm not a therapist, anything like that. I'm just a person that has anxiety. I really wanted to make this video with just a few kind of tips that work for me, just in case even one person, you know I don't have a lot of followers or anything or subscribers, but even if just one person watched this video and felt kind of more heard or a little bit more understood. I know a lot of times it can feel like people don't understand. I also know that some things that work for me won't work for other people because anxiety is a big kind of spectrum and everyone's anxiety is different. So just a little bit about me. I do have anxiety. I have anxiety that surrounds control. I don't like to feel trapped. I like to feel like I can escape or I can make my own decision. My anxiety is really bad when I feel backed into a corner, and those kind of things are definitely heightened when I'm on holiday, somewhere. My anxiety is quite bad when I'm somewhere unfamiliar as well, so obviously if you're going on holiday you probably haven't been there before. So I have 6 tips, tricks, whatever you want to call it, that I use. Sometimes I use all of them. If my anxiety is really bad, sometimes I just use one really quickly. Even if just one helps you, that would make me really happy. Also, I really want the comment section to be a place where people can feel they can talk without judgment. I'll be there to talk in the comment section. I'm here to listen, so definitely don't hesitate to talk to me in the comments. Tip number 1 is make yourself heard. I like to make sure that whoever I'm with, whether it be family, friends, or even strangers, for you, you might be on a school trip, when we can go back to school, teachers or maybe people you don't know, I always make sure that at least one person who's with me knows what my symptoms are when I feel anxious, so that if I do feel anxious, I don't have to work hard to explain what's going on. So for me, I tend to do a lot of pacing up and down. I chew my nails and I also chew the inside of my gum. I also get very irritable, but in the way of very short-tempered. Not in the sense of I'm going to have a massive go at someone, but I'm quite quick to snap because I'm on edge. If I let somebody know beforehand that if I feel anxious I might be like that, then that stops them from feeling hurt or angry with me because they don't understand why I've just been, rude to them. That's definitely something I'm working on, but, if I'm really anxious I can be a bit kind of short with people. And the other one is I do a lot of kind of fidgeting and leg shaking. You might not have those symptoms at all. I say symptoms, just kind of behaviours and things like that. Make sure that at least one person knows so that they can just talk to you when you're feeling a little bit anxious, and you don't have to explain to someone what's going on or why you're irritable, or they're more inclined to jump in and help you when they see you doing that if they're informed. Tip number 2, find the source. Really try to find the specifics of what is making you feel anxious. A lot of times it's easy to let anxiety kind of overwhelm you, like a big wave over the top of you, and then you can't find what was making you anxious in the first place because it's all just taken over you. Now you just feel anxious about everything almost. So when you start to feel anxious, it's a really good idea to try and take a moment and think what specifically is making me feel anxious. For me, for example, when I was on holiday, we planned to go jet skiing, which sounds really exciting. It was really exciting, but I had a lot of anxiety about that because I felt like if I needed to get off, a lot of times I said to you my anxiety is about control. So I've never been on a roller coaster because I get on them and I have to get off. Because if I go somewhere and I feel like I can't escape or I can't get off, then it makes me super anxious because I'm not in control of that situation. So I really wanted to do the jet skiing, but I was really anxious about it because I thought, if I want to get off, I can't. When we started talking about doing the jet skiing, I noticed that straight away I felt anxious about it. I made sure that I kind of told myself, I know I'm going to be anxious on this day. This does make me anxious. So nothing else is making me anxious except from this one thing. So that actually helped me not get overwhelmed, because a lot of times, like I said, it can feel like everything is making you anxious. There's anxieties everywhere, when actually there's just one anxiety, but it's kind of like feeding into everything else. Just really try to focus on what specifically is making you anxious, if you can. I know sometimes it's hard to, because sometimes I wake up and I just feel super anxious and I have to really work on just calming that down. But if you can figure out what is going on and what's making you feel anxious, that will definitely help you then tackle it, I guess. Tip number 3, notice your surroundings. So, oh my god, In the beginning of the video, I spoke to you guys about how I get very anxious in unfamiliar situations. A really helpful thing for me to do when I enter somewhere new is to really take notice of my surrounding, like I just said. For example, when I went on holiday, we went to a shopping centre. As soon as we walked in, I felt really anxious because I didn't know where the exit was. I didn't know where the toilet was. In case I needed to go to the toilet, that's quite a big anxiety for me. So when we walked in, me and my boyfriend Ryan, we took a walk around. It was 2 floors, so we went downstairs as well. And then I knew where the toilets were. I knew where the exit was. I knew that I was as safe as I could be, even though I did feel anxious. So then the next time we went to the shopping centre, I didn't feel half as anxious as I did the first time, because I knew if I needed to have an accident in the toilet, these are things that make me anxious. So if I felt poorly, if I felt sick or something like that, I knew where I could go. So that really helped me. So I think that's a really big one. When you go into somewhere new, don't feel like you're a nuisance. Please don't feel like you're a nuisance, because if it makes you feel happy and it makes you feel comfortable, then people should listen to you. Even just walk around where you are. If you're in a hotel or when you land in the airport, just take a small walk around and find things that make you feel comfortable. Tip number 4, ground yourself. If you are someone who is quite accustomed to your anxiety or your mental health, you'll have heard this phrase so many times. You need to ground yourself. There are lots of different ways to do this, and obviously everybody has different ways to feel grounded, but I thought I'd share the ones that help me in case some of you haven't tried it before or don't really know what it means. For me, there are a few things that I do. First one is guided meditation. On holiday, right before we were going jet skiing, I felt so anxious, and I took my phone with me. Obviously I had my headphones, and I just sat outside. I didn't care who was watching. I just sat outside, put my headphones in, and I listened to a guided meditation. The guided meditation I use is Headspace. I like the voice. I just plugged my headphones in and I just sat and I listened to a guided meditation they have kind of SOS ones when you're feeling really anxious about specifics, and I listened to one that was overwhelmed and panicked. Or the ones I listen to. Don't be embarrassed, don't be worried. If you need to take a moment, don't feel embarrassed about where you are. If people are staring at you, just focus on you and helping yourself feel more calm. Another tip I use for grounding myself is timed breathing. So again, if people are familiar with methods to ground yourself, I do 7-11, breathing in for 7 and breathing out for 11. It sounds really simple, but it actually really works, because when you're focusing on your breathing and you're counting, it's really hard for other thoughts to get into your brain because you're concentrating on counting your breaths. So that's really helpful. And you can do that and people don't even know you're doing it. In kind of conjunction with that, I do repeated phrases to myself. I don't know if anyone else does this, I'm sure people do, but I haven't really read about it. Because I'm so anxious, I can't really retain information. Even if sometimes the meditation is too much talking in my ear, or even if people try to talk to me, too much talking makes me worse. I literally pick a phrase that I know makes me feel better. Sometimes I just say, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Or I'll say, as I'm breathing in for 7, I'll say, everything is fine. And then as I breathe out for 11, you are safe. Because it's just easy to keep repeating it and then it starts to kind of sink in. Another one that really helps me ground myself is squeezing something. Sometimes I'll just hold on to my partner's hand. I'll squeeze his hand really, really hard, and it kind of makes me feel like I'm in the world again, which sounds really weird, but I'm present. I can feel like the touch, and I can squeeze really hard, and I can kind of relieve the anxiety that I feel, and it really helps. If you have someone, you can hold their hand, or you can even, like, sometimes if I'm anxious at home, I have a blanket and I'll just squeeze the blanket really hard and just do my 7-11 breathing, and it really, really helps. And just one more like quick one, just putting headphones in, even if they're not playing anything, getting rid of the outside noise and the busyness and the sounds can actually be really helpful as well. Tip number 5, prepare. So preparing what you can, both physically and mentally, is really, really helpful. If you're on holiday and you know you're going on a safari trip maybe, or even to the beach, even something small like that, I find that preparing for something really helps ease my anxiety on the day, because there's less things to worry about. I normally pack my things the night before. People think I'm just really organised, but actually I'm just trying to not feel as anxious. Even if you feel like you're bringing too much, you're not. If people say you don't need that, and if you feel like you need it, bring it. Extras of everything. I even bring extra pants. I don't need them because I'm 23 and I'm not going to have an accident, but I bring extra pants normally, a book, headphones, whatever I feel like I need, and I pack it the night before so I don't feel like I'm going to forget it in the morning. That's kind of the physical side of things preparing, but the mental side of things, I definitely try to get myself ready for what I'm going to do. So again, using an example, the jet ski. I do a lot of research. I'll watch videos of people doing jet skis, I'll go on their website. It actually really helps to see people having fun doing the thing that you are anxious to do. Reading the information, so even things like the safety information I'll read even before I get there, in case their safety briefing I don't understand, if it's in a different language or something. If I can read it first, that really helps me feel much less anxious, because I feel more in control and I feel like I know what to do in any scenario. And the last tip, trick number 6, don't let the monster win. I don't know what everyone refers to their anxiety as. If you don't have anxiety, you're just worried about holidays, welcome. But I tend to call my anxiety the little monster on my shoulder. It's not me, but it's a version of me that is mean and stressy. A lot of times in the past I've let the monster win. So I've not gone to the event, I've not gone to the party, I've not met up with the people that I actually wanted to meet up with. That's something that I'm working on every day. On holiday, I almost didn't go on oh my god, there's a fly. I almost didn't go on the jet skis on holiday because I was so anxious about something happening, having an accident, having an incident, not being able to get off, not being in control, all those things that I spoke about before. But I worked really, really hard, and I did use every single one of these tips that I've spoken about today, and I ended up going on them. I had the absolute best time. I've got videos coming out of the holiday anyway, but it was amazing fun. I did it with my boyfriend and my brother, and I know for a fact I would have felt so sad if I didn't do it, because I've had that feeling before. I've not gone and then I've had the FOMO. That's probably the one I really hope that people listen to the most. Oh my god, my voice! That's definitely the one I hope that people kind of resonate with the most. Is it can seem like the absolute scariest, hellish thing. Couldn't think of anything worse. You just want to escape. Once I did that jet ski, I felt so much better, so much stronger, and I know that if I do it again, I won't have to do half as many of these things that I had to do to prepare the first time, because I did it and it was fine and I was safe and nothing bad happened to me. I just really want you guys, whoever's watching, to feel like you definitely are stronger than you think. Don't let the anxiety win. Sometimes, you know, it is subjective. Know when it is the limit, but when it's something that you were looking forward to, you know, like before I came on holiday, I was so excited to do the jet skis and I didn't feel anxious. But then when we got there and it came closer and closer, I started feeling anxious. So I knew it was something I wanted to do. So that's why I didn't let my anxiety win. Those are all the tips I have, tips I have. Like I said, I'm not trained in mental health. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a person who has anxiety. I will not say suffers with anxiety. I've had it for a good few years. I'm learning every day about how to make things easier for myself, how to actually enjoy things that I feel anxious about. If anyone's interested in how I deal with anxiety on a day-to-day basis, I would definitely do that. Thank you so much for watching if you did, if you watched all the way to the end. And I just wanted to make this video to help, like I said, even just one person who might feel misunderstood or worried about something coming up. I'm here in the comments to listen, so if you enjoyed the video, god, I sound so weird saying that, I sound like a YouTuber. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Maybe subscribe if you want to, you don't have to, but I'll definitely be back with more videos now I'm back from holiday. There will be a holiday video coming up. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon.